All right, YouTube viewers, we at work. It's been a while since we did a work video. We have Certified Tow here. He's been here for a little over a week. We're trying to diagnose to see why his transmission not shifting and his speedometer is not working. It may be at all worst scenario a transmission, but we're trying to eliminate that without the waste of money. So we at work. This one here, if some trans, Brother Haji, he's come from on the East Coast where he's been losing power, black smoke. So we got to figure out what's going on with this. We're gonna have the laptop on him, trying to diagnose him, and he got some light issues up front. His turn signal's not working in the front. And then we got Landstar out of Florida. Brother Adam, we got to get his rear bunk air system going. This is a little different than an AP unit. Let's say if you hear it running now, we got to figure out why it's not getting cold. So we think it's low on Freon, but we got to figure out where to put the Freon in on this unit. So this is all he's here for. There's old Solomon. Say hi, Solomon. Good boy. We got our master mechanic, Deacon Troy, down here all the way on the end, replacing coolant in a truck and another AP unit problem, but he brought it in and he has the wrong part. So we got to get in touch with him and let him know he had the wrong part. But here's Troy, he's all the way down on the north end of our lot, replacing the coolant in another Landstar truck out of Jacksonville, Florida. This is Brother Yusuf, and he also has an AP unit problem, but his control panel, he bought it used. That's the AP unit over there. His control panel he bought used and was wondering why it wouldn't plug up. And he actually has the wrong part. So we'll be getting in touch with him, letting him know he have the wrong part so we can get it going. This one over here used to be a Landstar, but he's with ICD now out of Lenexa, Kansas. He's ready to go. We had a coolant leak on his. Also going to his AP unit here in the back, his Tri-Pack Evolution. It's called the AP unit. So he had a coolant leak on these hoses here, one of these hoses that comes from the front of the engine back to this AP unit. And he got a PM, he got an oil change, a PM. Real good oil changes we do here. And I think he also had an air leak. He had an air leak on his foot pedal valve on his firewall. So stay tuned, we're gonna do a work video today. Here's some of the work the son has lined up. Infiniti SUV. And then he has his cousin's Suburban that needs a fuel tank on it. This is Rock Custom. He have his own channel. He's kind of been coming down here doing his own work. This one here is gonna be an engine rebuild. And then you watch the other videos, this one been here a while, but he's getting it together. It's gonna be a race car for the track. And then he's working on this one here. It needs a head gasket, and he's doing a good job on this one. He just started working on it yesterday, and he's already down. Has the head off, probably going to get the head checked for cracks and anything wrong with the head, and then replace the gasket. So, and then, well, here's the head, so I guess he's just replacing the gasket only. And here's his old school hot rod he have here. I think he rode his motorcycle today. I don't see it, so he must have rode it. Then you watch the other videos, you already know this is his car. He's going back with his engine, his Charger. Oh, there's his bike in the back of the shop. So all right, fam, stay tuned and please watch our videos. Like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and get up here on this truck and see if the charge port by any chance is up here. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I gotta find where it goes in at.
I barely put 6 in there.
Weather not too bad right now at this time. We have the diagnostics on Haji's truck, 2007 Freightliner Century, Detroit 60 series 14 liter. But the problem I always have when I go to hook up the computer to his truck is a failure to connect. And then he had also told me about he hooked up his Qualcomm and he wasn't getting power to it. So I'm thinking that he has a fuse blown or something's going on with his output to his ECM. So let me get that straight. We're gonna check the fuses. Got this door motor on so you can hear me. We're gonna check some fuses in Haji's truck here. In this, trying to find my ground. I like to use the cigarette lighter for a ground, but in this particular truck, I'm gonna check all fuses while I'm in here. These are HVACs and trailer fuses, but I'm gonna check them all while I'm in here. He's my good customer. Find anything blown, I can replace it for him. Always had the ignition on when you're checking fuses. Some of them will register without the key on, but to get full access, you want to have the key on. So far, I would say halfway through, they all registering good. But I'm gonna show you another fuse panel that a lot of drivers are not familiar with. These Columbias and Centuries have 2 fuse panels in the cab. This fuse here looks burnt up, but it works. I'm gonna replace that. That looks like a fire hazard, as well as this 30 amp. Look at the condition of this fuse here. There it is. It looks in poor condition. I'm gonna replace that. It's good, but looks like a fire hazard. I don't like it. So all of his fuses checks good in his fuse panel. So let me show you another location of fuses in a Columbia or Century 2007, 2006, 5. It's the one here on the firewall behind the seat. So let me get the seat adjusted and we'll get to it. I've gained access to this fuse panel here. It's on the wall behind the driver's seat. Here's the driver's seat. Here's where you come in the cab. It's right behind the driver's seat in front of his cab cabinet. And this one's in pretty poor condition, even though his truck is pretty old. The bottom fuse panel there is a WABCO. That's the ABS system. Man, he's looking pretty bad condition down here. But here's the fuse panel here that I want to get access to. See if I can do it one-handed. This fuse panel, all of this needs to be remounted up here. You kind of have it kind of wired up, rigged up here. It's hard for me to get access to it. So I don't know if this is a problem because I have to be able to read his codes in order to see why he's losing power. Man, bear with me here. This thing is in bad shape. I'm still grounded to the cigarette lighter in the dash. This fuse here is blown. That could be my problem. Good here. I don't think I have the camera right. See, I got connection here, but at the bottom no power, so this fuse is probably the one that's blown, that's going to my diagnostic port on the truck. Everything else seems to be checking pretty good. Yeah, let's pull this 15 right here. PNL receptacle. That's probably why I don't have any computer reading or his Qualcomm not working. All right, let's grab a fuse and replace it. While I'm going to get that fuse, I'm gonna catch Troy here. He's replacing some air lines and electrical cord that go from the tractor to the trailer. Here's this setup here. We love this setup. When we first started 13 years ago, these wasn't really on the scene as much, except for big companies had them on the trucks. Our customers had the old red and blue coil lines and the 7-way all separate. These here makes it a whole lot easier on a mechanic. So here's exactly what I'm talking about. These are the old systems that was on some of the trucks when we started in 2010. The red one went to the parking brake on the trailer, and the blue one was the emergency brake, service brake. But now we went to these systems here. It's a lot easier to put on. So this is what Troy's doing. There was a 15 we needed. There it is, a blue 15. So we're gonna get that in this truck. Hopefully that'll take care of all of our issues. Much simpler. I was explaining to our YouTube viewers that we enjoy doing these kind compared to the old coil ones that came on them when we first started working on these trucks. See?
Best thing that they could ever done.
That's right. Unless they come out with something to just put their own self on the truck. And I doubt if that ever happened. That'll take away from our job. They think he a construction worker. Solomon, sit, come here, sit. Good boy. All right, let's try this fuse, fam. It's 15 right here. You want to make sure you pull the right fuse and go back in the right place. I have worked on trucks and cars where people don't pull the plug when they get the fuse and forget where it go back at and stick it in the wrong receptacle. And so when I'm checking behind them, sometimes it takes me half the day to figure out that they done misplaced the fuse. So we take the old one out and go back with the new. Hopefully it don't blow going in. No, it didn't. Let's test it. Make sure it has power now. There it is. before the bottom receptacle didn't have power, bottom and top. So let's see. We're gonna go to our computer, our diagnostic tool, and see if we have power now. Yeah, viewers, I had to come and get my homemade, my man-made shade tree. That sun is right on my back already. So I had to go get my homemade shade tree. Look at that, kind of keep some of that sun off my back. All right, let's see if we can read the computer. Plus it makes it easier to read the computer without the sun being right on it. It says retry because we couldn't connect earlier because, let's see if that's gonna let us go right into it. Nope. So we have another problem. Let's disconnect from it and see if it'll let us connect to it. No, he has an electrical problem somewhere. We're not gonna be able to read his ECM until we figure out exactly where we having our issue at. Like I said, here's a connection here. It might be a wire up under the panel here, but that's gonna set him back on the schedule today. Or maybe I can check some more issues to see if something I can see visually that's causing him to lose power. Maybe this is something we can work on later. So let's get out of here, save our battery. If I can't find anything visually that I can see on the turbo side that's causing him to not to lose power, then we're gonna have to figure out how to get my program to read his ECM, see what his issue is electrically. All right, stay tuned.
Sir.
All right.
And then look, you got blue on there.
What the other one have? Red?
No, just.
Oh, that, yeah.
I just took it off the old one.
Right. Yeah, here's the son's work on the head gasket. That's a good job. He's cleaning it up. Real good job. I'm sure he'll be done with this today. Here's the head over here. There's the old gasket. Old head gasket. He's gonna clean the head next, I'm sure, after he come off break. All right, fam. Good work down here today. Praise God. Got one that came in today. This one gonna be here for a couple of days. A lot of stuff we need to do to this. It's still Ipsum trans. We're trying to figure out the low power issue, and I think we found it. This one here is a Triple Crown out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Deacon Troy's doing a PM on it and changing some filters, air filters. And this one here, the one I was working on the rear AC for the cabin. He decided to leave it. We're gonna terminate some more tomorrow. So here we are, plenty of work. And we got one of our favorite dump truck customers back down here, LR Bynum out of Kansas City. We got her and her husband Derek back in the house. So I got an AC issue with this one. So I'm gonna try to finish this one before I leave today late. It's gonna be a late one today, family. He said when he put Freon in, it's leaking out of the bottom of the condenser right here. So I don't know if you can see it. That's probably gonna be an O-ring issue there. Hopefully the condenser don't look bad at all. So all right, stay tuned, family. Got a long video today.